Thank you.
Yay, Daryl. Listen, I got to say one thing about this book. I opened it up to page 200, and it says, can't fail pie crust. And I got to tell you, the only way that pie crust is not going to fail for me is if you come to my house and roll it out for me, because I am the world's worst when it comes to pie crust and pizza dough.
Yeah, that can be a problem, but my 93-year-old sister presented that recipe for the book as one of the contributors, and she's been making it for years with success. So
I'm going to give it a whirl. I don't know what I'm going to put inside of it, but I'm going to give it a whirl. Listen, I understand you grew up on a farm in western Illinois, and that you were the youngest of 9 kids.
Right.
What in God's name was that like, to be the baby of the family on the farm?
Well, actually, I'm the youngest, and the closest one to me is 6 years older. And so from like 14 years old, no, 12 years old, I was an only child.
Yeah?
Yeah.
With 8 siblings.
Right.
Older than you.
Yeah.
How old is your oldest sibling? Still alive?
95.
God bless.
He lives in Denver. He just took the tour to the World War II veterans that went to Washington, D.C.
Oh, yeah,
He took that flight.
Did he take it from here, the honor flight from Chicago?
Denver.
Oh.
Denver. That's where he lives.
Do we know if Mary Pt.2 runs all of the honor flights or just the ones from Chicago?
Just Chicago.
Yeah?
There you go.
Listen, and I hear you learned to cook watching your mom. Is that
Well,
true?
yeah, she was an excellent cook, and we had company every Sunday for dinner, and she'd make a full spread, 2 or 3 meats. We, of course, always had chickens. We always had beef, pork,
Pigs?
the whole bit.
Piggies?
Yeah, piggies. And we had an apple orchard and walnut trees, the whole bit.
How big was your farm?
That one was about 300, I would say, roughly.
Acres?
Yeah, 300
Wow.
acres. And we had a big dairy herd. We had beef cattle, the whole bit. Even with all those kids, we had hired men.
No kidding. One of the things I like best about going to visit my friends on the farm is the piglets. How you have to, when they squeal, you have to hold them by their ears so they stop squealing. I don't understand that, and then they make you put your hand in the cow's mouth. Did you ever put your hand in a cow's mouth?
Not this week.
Their tongue is very, very rough.
Like sandpaper.
Yeah.
Very clean. No halitosis whatsoever, those cows. Probably from eating all that grass. What do you think?
But talking
I don't want to
about
think about that. That's what I think.
You don't want to think about
Why
cars?
would you
cows?
stick your hand in a cow's mouth?
Yeah.
Because when you go to the farm and you're a gringo from the city, or whatever we call us city slickers, they make you do all this weird stuff. Like they go, pick up that little piglet, aren't they cute? So you pick them up like you pick up a puppy with your hand around their little fat bellies, and they start screaming and squealing, and then all the pigs go nuts. So then you hold them by their ear, believe it or not, and they shut up.
Is this a true story?
Am I telling the truth?
that sounds good.
See? See? Uh-huh.
I'm a city folk too. I don't know.
And then they make you put your hand, and they go, here, come here, put your hand in the cow's mouth. He won't bite. They don't bite. But I got to put my hand when I went to the aquarium.
Okay.
When I did the swim with the beluga trainer for the day last year, when I was one of the first ones in the city to do it at Shed Aquarium, and we got to put our hand in the beluga's mouth too.
Outstanding.
It was fun.
It's amazing.
Brings you closer to nature.
Okay.
Closer to nature, closer to God.
Can't get closer than inside the mouth, that's for sure.
That's right.
Did you
Listen,
pick a beluga up by the ears?
I don't think they have. Their ears are kind of like a hole, and so I think you'd have to stick your finger in the hole and pick them up. But I don't think that would work.
Yeah,
I
good
think
luck,
they would send out the alarm, and that would be the end of that. That sonar kind of thing. Anyway, Daryl, back to Daryl. Where did you get the idea for the cookbook? Because you have some fabulous recipes in this thing.
It's actually, as you may notice up front, it's done in memory of my wife. And she passed away 2 years ago.
Oh.
And so that's really why I did it. But I've been cooking since I was 18. Some people call me a professional chef, but that's not true because professional implies money.
Oh, I get
I've
you.
never been paid a dime.
For your cooking?
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. What was your profession all these years when you were a youngster?
When I graduated college, I came to Oswego to teach biology.
Ooh.
And after a few years decided I wanted to eat better, so I'm into real estate and spent the rest of my career in real estate. I had a realtor office in Aurora, was president of the board of realtors, those kinds of things, built some homes, did a lot of appraising. I just quit appraising 2 years ago.
No kidding. So you're like really retired except for your cooking.
Well, not really, because I serve on the Kendall County Board of Review, which is the tax appeal board.
Okay, that's a good thing.
Yeah, and I spent 29 years as Oswego Township assessor.
You know something? I've read that about you, and I was
Oh,
wondering
did
if
I?
it was the same Daryl Garr. Yes, I
Yeah,
did. I read
it's
all
the
that.
one.
You're the same guy, huh?
Yeah.
Listen, where did most of your, or all of your recipes in your wonderful book come from?
Some of them I created myself. The lasagna, for example, blue ribbon fruitcake. In fact, I have standing orders for that whenever I make it.
No kidding.
I just sent one the other day to Seatonville, Illinois, if you know where that's at, down by La Salle, Peru.
Okay.
And he waits for it every year. And, you know, you get a recipe, you start changing it, and get it till you get it the way you like it.
To your liking, yeah.
I think it says, I think I wrote in the book that there's probably no new recipes being created, only variations of the old.
That's what I think.
And I've got cookbooks. Well, I've got, my oldest is 1910, so that's
No
100 years
way.
old. And it's hard to deal with because it uses such things as add a half of egg shell of milk. So you got to break an egg, take half the shell, fill it full of milk. And that's what
Seriously?
you use. Yeah.
That's like watching my Nona cook. Nona, I'm going to write this recipe down so you follow her around the kitchen.
You can't
How much
write
salt
that.
are you putting in there? She pours it in and goes, this is much of salt, the Laura.
It's like a pinch or
That's it, you know.
Yeah.
This
Whatever I
much.
feel
Yeah,
like right now.
exactly, yeah.
See, all of those terms, pinch, dash, all of those things, you got to guess is what they are. And it doesn't really make any difference, most things.
What was your favorite recipe of all in the book?
Probably the lasagna.
Okay, I'm going to try that one of these
Mhm.
days.
Yeah, it's great. And I've taken it to different groups and such. The jambalaya,
Ooh.
one of the gals who is a host parent for the Cougars, she has a big team party every year. And so I take I take 2 crock pots of jambalaya. Everybody goes nuts over it. That's not something you normally see at a picnic.
What's your favorite food overall?
Ribs, I would say.
No kidding. You make mean ribs? You have ribs in here too?
Yeah, and there's a barbecue sauce recipe in there.
Oh, this is the great all-American cookbook we have right here. Don't
For
you
sure.
think?
There has to be with 300 some recipes.
Just so you
Yes.
know, it's a rule that when you bring in a book, it stays here at the radio station.
They're already
I'm gonna
autographed
take.
to
I'm
them.
gonna experiment. Maybe I'm gonna experiment. I'm not sure. I'll bring you guys in something. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not sure.
Right up front is a meatball recipe, and that's
Oh, boy.
excellent too. As you know, the kind with the grape jelly and the chili sauce.
No kidding.
As a-
Valerie's shaking her head. Yes.
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 As an appetizer.
Oh, what do you think goes into making really good food? What do you think the secret is to good cooks to making really good food?
The type of ingredients that you use. Don't skimp on the old family recipe. Is what I always say.
And use butter and not margarine?
Oh, yes,
or
definitely.
lard. What do you call that stuff? Crisco?
Crisco. Yeah, I don't use lard anymore. My mother always did, of course. Lard for pie
Yeah, pie crust.
and
Yeah, I
everything.
remember my grandmother did
Do
that
you
too.
save the old grease from the pans? You pour it into a coffee pot and pull it out for breakfast the next day?
No.
Okay.
No.
Where'd you grow up?
That was a recipe down in Arkansas. My friend
Right.
had a grandma that lived in Arkansas.
Uh-huh.
Stopped and had the best breakfast I've ever had in my life. And she has this coffee can filled with old grease from bacon from months ago. And she pulled it out,
Aye.
and that's what she would fry up her new food in. And it was so flavorful. Although it sat there forever. I don't know weeks or months or how long it sat there. It was old grease.
Sounds like an Anthony Bourdain episode to me.
When she put it back in the pan, that's what she would use to cook the meal the next day. And then
You-
she'd save that and pour it back in the can.
I happen to like eggs fried in bacon grease till they're like hockey pucks.
Aren't they delicious?
Yes,
Yeah.
I have to say,
See?
yes they are.
Sure.
What is your oldest recipe in the book?
Oh, probably my mother's ginger snaps.
No kid. And I heard
Or
those
ginger
are.
people.
I heard ginger snaps. If you are on chemo and you can't eat, I heard ginger snaps are wonderful for upset stomach and like that. So maybe we should
Probably
make
so.
some up and take them
Mhm.
around to the hospitals. What is it about cooking that really excites you?
I do it mostly for other people.
Really?
Like the other day, for the board of review members, there were 7 people, and I made a tray of cookies for all of them, and some candies too.
Uh-huh.
Peanut brittle, or actually I use cashews rather than peanuts,
Mm.
and all those kind of things.
Do you watch
Cashew
cooking
cluster.
shows? Who's your favorite chef?
Paula Deen,
Really?
yeah.
Hey, y'all.
Comfort foods, yeah. She says pecans and things like that.
She's kind of adorable, but I like Emerald, and I love Anthony
He's
Bourdain.
still getting kind of
Oh, yeah?
chubby, Emerald is, though.
Emerald is getting
He is
kind of
very.
chubby. Emerald needs to go on low carb because he's out there preaching to the kiddies and telling them all this and that and the other thing. You know something? It's kind of like halftime, and I have more questions for Daryl, and I know my three sports guys in here are chomping at the bit because we are going to talk about the Kane County Cougars and Daryl's connection to them. And before we go on, I'd like to thank our very special sponsors.
Daryl's going to put the oven at 350. Okay, just for a moment there, Daryl.
Okay.
Dr. Claire Elias, of course. You know Dr. Claire, and she is wonderful with chiropractic work. Just give her a call. Make sure you're there. And a living example is right over there, as you can see. Perfect posture, incredible.
Pain-free.
Pain-free.
acupuncture.
Her attitude never better, and that's partially due to the great work of Dr. Claire Elias, as you know. She's at 2001 Larkin Avenue, 847-888-9988. That is Dr. Claire Elias. Also, you know, at the Taylor Y, things are going on. You're always there on Wednesdays. Laura, of course, at the Taylor Y, the swim lessons, swim team, dance, and tumbling info, you name it. They've got it for you and your family's health and fitness information and pleasure. That is 50 North McLean on McLean. And it's 847-888-7410. That's the good folks at the what?
And a big thanks to Snob Hounds and Casey Toole, weekly sponsors of ours, without whom our show would not be possible. And please don't forget, Elgin's Biggest Loser 4 begins Wednesday, January 5th at the Taylor YMCA on McLean.
Yeah, nice job.
Right here in Elgin, go to elginsbiggestloser.com for an application and more info. And please tell all your friends. And let me see. We have a special guest. Is he on?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jimmy.
Yes. How are you out there?
This is Jimmy Damon, everyone. What's new?
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
So am I.
Just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. It may happen this Christmas, isn't it?
It sure is, and you're here to kind of help us usher in the Christmas spirit. And tell us what's new with you. What's going on?
Well, thank God I've been real busy, and I've got a show coming up on the 29th, a week from today, in Schaumburg at that Chicago Prime Steakhouse, which is a wonderful place, and the prices are right. And I'm there from 7 to 11, and that'll be the last engagement for the general public at that place. So we hope everybody can come in and get all the Christmas spirit and New Year's spirit they need on Wednesday, a week from now.
No kidding. We should all go over there after the show. What do you think?
Can we sing with you a little bit?
Where is it in Schaumburg?
I can give you the address. You ready for the address?
Yes. Where pens are poised.
And the address is 14.4 East Algonquin Road. At Algonquin and Meacham.
Oh, we'll find that. No
Schaumburg.
problema.
And there's a Wendy's there in a mall, and they're part of it. And if anybody wants the number, I might as well give you that too.
Yeah, quick.
847-969-9900.
Thank you.
Can you sing that address one more time, Jimmy? Can you sing the address of that place?
1444 East Algonquin Road. It's at Meacham, corner of in Schaumburg, Illinois. It's true.
And
And the number is 847-969-9900. And happy holiday to you too.